Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this very special edition of Murdoch and Fisk. Um, as you can see, I am Murdoch,
I'm Wilson Fisk.
and when he was 12, he hammered his dad.
I want to apologize to all our fans for not being with you the last couple weeks. We had illness in the family, and unfortunately, we were unable to bring you the broadcast. Hopefully, we can make up for it tonight.
Exactly. Thank you, Wilson, for that special announcement. So, because we missed those last couple weeks, we won't be caught up with our NFL predictions, right? Or the games. So, we're still going to do that at the end of this episode, right? For next week predicting the games.
Yeah, we can do that.
Right. But we're just going to be our records are going to be a little bit behind a couple weeks because of the illness in the family, Your Honor.
I want to bring up Michael Kay once again on the show. Michael Kay actually said today, you think the Giants should franchise Daniel Jones as their quarterback. Now, this guy was not even offered his fifth year option by the Giants, which would have been about probably a little less than 20 million for his fifth year option, maybe less than that. Now, if the Giants were to franchise this man, he would make over $40 million per year. You don't franchise Daniel Jones. You franchise Lamar. You franchise Allen. You franchise Mahomes. You franchise, if you have to, all the top quarterbacks in the league. Michael Kay should not be announcing any predictions or opinions on football. Stick to baseball, Michael Kay.
I believe that Michael K's whole thing is that he wants to be the king of New York sports. And that's why they all talk about New York sports a lot. See, me personally, I'm the devil of Hell's Kitchen, okay? But Michael K will never be the king of New York sports or the king of New York. With respect though, I do like him as a commentator. Um, and I like his show, but some of the takes on his show is concerning. Like that take. He also said that Jerry Lee Lewis died, or TMZ reported that Jerry Lee Lewis has died, and then later retracted that statement, TMZ did, because Jerry Lee Lewis is still alive. Which, to be fair, I thought that man was dead, too. So, I can't even blame him, Your Honor. I'm a really good lawyer.
Well, since you guys missed it, our fantasy team is now 4-3. We lost one game by point two, which is 2 yards, not 2 points, point two.
Point two.
So our fantasy team was predicted to win one game, has won four so far this year. And the Baltimore Ravens, all the games they lost, they had double-digit leads in the fourth quarter. Double-digit leads in the NFL game. And they blew it. Their defense choked. They choked. And they lost the games. So they are also 4-3, which I find disgusting.
I too find it disgusting. Have we finally come to an agreement, Mr. Fisk?
Yes, in this particular case, I believe we are in agreement.
Agreed. I have too many legal problems with those Baltimore Ravens, okay? First of all, LaFumble, alright? He can't, I'm sorry, and everybody says this, but they're right. He can't throw the ball. He is a running back. And the amount of plays that could have been made if it wasn't Lamar at quarterback, I can't even count them. What is the amount of times that Andrews has been open? That even Bateman has been open? Or Duvernay? And every time it's just run a little Russell Wilson circle and throw it to the ground. Or what, like, I don't understand. That's one thing. The second thing is that even if Lamar and the offense does their job, then all of a sudden the defense can't finish the game. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's like one side or another goes wrong. Special teams has always been good for the Ravens as far as I can tell. But the thing is, if you have the best kicker in the league and you still don't want to use that kicker, then there's something wrong with you, Harbaugh. Finally, after the two freaking blown leads with the Dolphins and whoever else it was, I can't even remember that game with. Oh, the Bills.
And the Giants
And
also.
the Giants. Well, the Bills game specifically, why would they not let them score, right? At the end of the game. Why would they not let the Bills score to keep more time on the clock and to get the ball back in their possession? I don't know. Stupid decision. Why would you not take the chance to kick a field goal against the projected Super Bowl winners this year? With the best kicker in the league, by the way. Why would you not do that?
In the history of the league also.
Exactly. So, I don't know how you have Justin Tucker as a kicker and you continue not to use him. I think Harbaugh kind of learned his lesson after that game, though, because I noticed that he has been using Tucker more in those games or situations where before he would be like, "You want to go for it, Lamar?"
Or he punt the ball. Awesome.
Right. But I was frankly referencing Mr. Jackson's previous statements and Mr. Harbaugh's previous statements, where that they actually went viral one time in a video where it was Harbaugh saying, "You want to go for it, Lamar?" And he was like, "Yeah, man." But that's what Mr. Jackson sounds like. Everybody, if it was what he sounds like the parents from the Peanuts. Like that, for a reference. And then they actually did make it, but so they went viral for that video because they were both mic'd up or whatever. But it's still annoying because I respect the guts that Harbaugh has, and I'm pretty happy with Harbaugh as a coach compared to a lot or most of the other coaches in the league. But I just think that some of these decisions need to be changed. And more specifically, my problem with the coaching staff is Greg frickin' Roman. Get him out, Your Honor. I put into evidence the fact that every first down they'll just sit there and hand the ball off behind the 5 yards behind the line and just run it up the middle every time. The Ravens and Greg Roman on offense has no creativity. Every team can predict exactly what they are going to do. Every play. They need a new offensive coordinator. He has no common sense. None.
Also, you gotta remember their defensive coordinator is also uh, plays zone defense all the time. He has Marlon Humphrey, who's probably one of the better defensive backs in the league, but they have him playing zone, so he can't even take anybody out of the game.
Right. That's another thing. It's it's quite frankly, it doesn't make any sense. See, I'm blind and I can still see that they need to play man to man.
Yeah, that defensive coordinator they got out of Michigan, who used to be on their staff before, he better learn how to coach an NFL game, especially when he's got talent on his defense and doesn't use it.
Agreed. I think as Ravens fans, we just needed to put that out there, especially because we missed the past couple weeks.
Okay, one more thing I want to get into before we go on to something else. Aaron Judge, he told he told everybody that once the season started, he did not know how to negotiate his contract until when?
The season ended.
Right. Last week, the season ended. If I was Cashman, if I was the Yankees GM, I would have been in that locker room with the contract. I wanted to let him shower before he signed that contract. Folks, it's been a week since the Yankees have been eliminated. We haven't heard anything about them negotiating with Aaron Judge. If they let this guy get away, Steinbrenner must sell the team because George would have had him locked up already. After George, his sons are nothing like him. I wish they would have sold the team when George's health got in jeopardy before. They never did it. They never sold the team. They kept Cashman on as the GM. And now they keep Boone. Last year, Boone got eliminated in the first round of the playoffs. How did they reward him? A 3-year contract. A new 3-year contract they offered him after he loses in the first round.
Unbelievable.
George would not have done that. George would have fired him after a year like that. And now we see mistake after mistake Boone is making, and he is still supposedly going to be their manager again next year.
That is what we hear. That is what we hear. Um, see, a lawyer like myself agrees with you in the way that I make negotiations all the time, and I agree that they should already be talking about it, and they should already have him signed.
Well, maybe you should buy the team. I think you could do better than George's son.
I believe that too, Mr. Fisk. I mean, you have the money to do it, so
I am too busy with other things going on in my life. I have to run everything.
I see. How's Vanessa?
She is fine. She is fine.
Okay, 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 good, good.
And I do mean fine.
Okay. That's great.
Would you like to get into the football, or do you have other things you would like to discuss?
Well, Your Honor, I would just like to put a statement out to the jury. Get it? All right. That I still believe that Judge will re-sign with the Yankees, even though Steinbrenner's a dork. But that could be just my hope, and I just don't want to accept that it is a possibility that he will leave the Yankees. But I really don't think that he will. So I'm gonna put that out there as my formal prediction, which we already have talked about, I think, last episode when Judge hit 61 home runs. Um, they should be giving him all the money in the world for all I care. That's their whole team right there, is Aaron Judge. And nobody can deny that. Um, so if they don't resign him or offer him all the money in the world, I think that's a mistake. I really don't care how much money they give that man. Just stay with the Yankees. I mean, he probably wants to stay with the Yankees, and that's why I think he will. But it all depends on what they negotiate. Because at this point, the Yankees are idiots. If Cashman is saying that Boone's good. Boone's good for another year or whatever, right? Not planning to get rid of Boone anytime soon. Was that his exact quote or something? I don't know what his exact quote was, Your Honor. I didn't submit that into evidence. But still, I don't put anything past them. I think they're just idiots at this point. But I really do think that Judge will still resign with the Yankees, even after all this trouble. It's just, I don't blame him if he wants to leave because of the Yankees are just idiots. Idiots. And Michael Kay, bringing him up again, I feel like every time Aaron Boone goes on the Michael Kay show or whatever, except for that one time when he was talking about who was it that made the who didn't hustle to, or because he thought he got a home run. Who was that?
I believe it was Donaldson.
Yeah, Josh Donaldson, the infamous racist, by the way. Don't sue me. Don't sue me, Josh Donaldson. You don't want to take this on in court, okay? Donaldson, and I don't know what game it was. Exactly, but he thought he hit a home run, so he just jogged up to first. In reality, he didn't hit a home run, and it was just a bounce off the wall, or whatever. And then Boone goes out here defending Donaldson, saying like, "Oh, I mean, I would know, we don't check to see if it's a home run or not. You just get that feeling and then you go." Okay, but you're not gonna punish them like it's the playoffs.
Should have been on the bench.
That's what I'm
And
saying.
he actually got out on that play. He didn't even not get a single. He was jogging to second, and they tagged him out because he thought it was gone. Wasn't gone. He should have been on the bench for not hustling to begin with.
That's exactly what I'm saying, Mr. Fisk. And I think that it's stupid of Aaron Boone to not only not punish him for that, but also defend him for that. And then he goes on the Michael Kay show, and Michael Kay asks about it. And at that point, Michael Kay is like, okay, like he was subtly disagreeing with him. But that was the only time ever that I've seen Michael Kay like stand up to Aaron Boone in a way, and he didn't even really stand up to him. He just basically was like saying, "Okay, I don't really get that, but all right." Every other time, Michael Kay has gone out of his way to defend Aaron Boone and the Yankees' decisions. Like, why? Like even today, when they were talking about Aaron Boone being, re-signed or staying with the Yankees, he was like, "Well, they didn't
Aaron
give."
Judge.
No.
Oh, you're talking about Boone. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Fisk, for that. No, Boone, not resigned, but just staying with the Yankees, right?
Not being fired.
Not being fired. When they were talking about Boone not being fired, he was like, oh, well, they didn't fire Torrey after he blew that lead and what. It's like,
Yeah, they should have.
that's what I'm saying. They should have. So why are you using that to defend Aaron Boone? Like, he always defends Aaron Boone when, if you're a Yankees fan right now, you should be, like, rooting for them to fire him. I get maybe you have a personal connection with Boone, okay, but stop. Stop. You're supposed to be like one of the biggest podcasts in the world, and you're out here just making stupid decisions just to defend him. Like, nobody, and if anybody agrees with you, they're wrong. They're wrong. Stop defending Aaron Boone.
See, Michael Kay seems to have a place in this podcast, in our personal podcast, just about every week. I think he's on our show.
He is, but he has to be, okay? Because things have to be talked about. If we're Yankees fans, and he's the number one Yankees podcast, and not only Yankees podcast, but he's just one of the top podcasts, he has to be talked about. Just saying.
Is there anything else you want to do before our football forecast?
I want to bring up also another person that comes up weekly, at least for me. Thomas Brady. I'm right, okay? I'm right. Every time. You know, I can sense heartbeats and everything, so I know when somebody's lying, alright? And I could tell that Brady was lying when he said that retirement is not in his future. I would just like to say that everybody's gonna blame Brady looking like a piece of dog poop on the fact that he is old or washed up. I have news for everybody. That is not the reason why. It's just because Brady sucks. And he's always sucked. And the reason why he is doing bad now is because he doesn't have a complete all-star team and coaching staff to back him up like he had on the Patriots and even years past with the Buccaneers. A lot of his wide receivers got hurt, even though Mike Evans didn't even get hurt. He just punched somebody in the face. By the way, also called that, because he's an a-hole. For anybody watching. Anyway. He's lost a lot of his players, is what I'm saying. And because of that, now he can't do anything. Because he relies on his teammates. And if his teammates make a mistake, he goes to the sideline and throws down a $10,000 tablet that the league paid for, and the league doesn't fine him for anything. He throws down his helmet on the bench multiple times, sits on the field looking disappointed, yells at his own teammates, yells at his own coach, doesn't show up to practice, doesn't do this and that and that. He gets away with everything. Everything. And he's acting out now more than ever because he's getting exposed for the trash that he has been all along. All along. And as far as Rodgers goes, because I know that they're both struggling, and they're both number 12, and they're both considered great. Which we know my opinions on that. As far as Rodgers goes, you shouldn't have got rid of Devontae. Shouldn't have done it. If you had control, You shouldn't have let that man go, because that was your whole offense right there, and one man, number 17, Devontae Adams. Now who you got? Cobb. Ooh, I'm so scared of Cobb.
Actually, he's hurt now too, so they don't
Oh,
even have
oh.
Cobb. So
Okay, so they have nobody. Okay, great.
they got the lizard.
So, that's right. Wait, didn't he get hurt too?
Questionable.
Okay, well, so they have nobody right now. So honestly, I feel a little bit more bad for Rodgers than Brady because I feel like Rodgers does have more talent than Brady. But he's struggling with the same thing is that he can't carry a team if he doesn't have anybody. But Brady has way more people than Rodgers, and he just sucks so much that when he has 20 minutes to throw the ball, he just and anybody comes in a 5-mile range of him, and he's like, ah, and he just falls. He doesn't care about his team; he cares about himself. I mean, Rodgers does too, but you get my point. Brady still has Evans. Is he gonna get Godwin back soon?
He's Godwin.
He has Godwin. He has a lot of people on his side still.
Yes.
And he sucks. He still sucks. Because he doesn't have that same team as he did on the Patriots. Which was literally an all-star team. I can't even deny that. I can't. So if it was Flacco that was on the Patriots through those years, they would have won more than just 5, 6 rings, whatever they had. 6, I think, with Brady. They would have had more than that. That's all I gotta say. Because when it comes down to talent, Brady might be worse than Baker Mayfield, guys. I just had to say that. I just like making fun of Brady. But I love being right is what I'm saying because everybody can see that he's struggling. Right, Mr. Fisk?
Yeah, I'd say the whole team is struggling right now. Yes.
Well, maybe he should destroy some more tablets and yell at some more teammates and not show up to some more practices. I think that would help him. Also, maybe get your wife back or something, your kids. I don't know, be a dad. I mean, I just thought that's something that could be.
Let's go on to this week's predictions because
Okay.
I think the first game is involving Tom Brady this week.
I'm excited for this one. Well, did you want to go over our fantasy football team, or did you? I mean, I know you talked about it, Mr. Fisk, but did you want me to bring it up on here?
Well, I just told him about
All right. Our luck mishaps. Am I correct?
Yes, every week it seems something comes up and we get destroyed by either somebody getting hurt, somebody getting hurt after the game starts, which has happened several times to our team. We really should only have one loss to this point.
Right. And it's kind of funny how it's aligning with the Ravens because it's always kind of close.
And this week we play a team that was given Justin Jefferson.
Given, not traded, given.
Justin Jefferson for 3 mediocre players.
Because the man that had Justin Jefferson basically gave up on his team. And so instead of just keeping Jefferson to make it fair to everybody, or just doing a fair trade even, just gave his friend Justin Jefferson.
For 3 mediocre players that you don't trade for the number. We were actually considering him as number 3, him or Cooper Kupp, at number 3 in the whole overall draft. So his with given Justin Jefferson, I hope he can be the top team in the league. But that's who we play this week. So we are projected for the second amount of points this week. But the team we're playing is projected for more points than us because he was given Justin Jefferson, which is about 18 points for the week.
Right. So we'll update you next week on what happens with that. But, this is just a fair warning. Alright, so here are the games for this upcoming week of football. Now, as you heard my friend here, Mr. Fisk, say, this is an interesting game because it involves Brady and it involves us. For a prediction though, I will be so embarrassed, just like how I was with the Bills game. Luckily I actually got COVID that week, so I didn't have to show my face in school after that. But it was a bad week. It was a bad week. And the same thing will happen here if the Ravens lose to the Buccaneers. I will refuse to lose to Tom Brady, especially in 2022 against this Buccaneers team. If the Ravens don't clutch this one up, I've lost all hope, and I'm becoming a Jets fan. Go Ravens. Ravens win this one. And if they don't, like I said, I'm going to hop on the bandwagon.
I'm going to have to tell you that this is going to be a high-scoring game because of the zone defense the Ravens play. It's not very hard to pick them apart when they play their zone defense. The Ravens should score on that Buccaneers team, though. So I'm predicting a high-scoring game and the Ravens to win by a field goal.
All right. That's pretty good. Pretty good. It's gonna be close if it's a Ravens game. I mean, giving us heart attacks and whatnot. Now, dear God. Oh my God. Now, if you was watching the past week's podcasts, plural, you would know that I hate both of these teams with a passion, mostly because of their quarterbacks, aka Russ Let's Ride Wilson versus Trevor the Bust Lawrence. Alright, so we got a good matchup here. I hope this ends in a tie. In fact, I'm gonna predict a tie. Watch. Because I'm done. I'm predicting what I'm hoping here.
These two teams, it's be hard to think that either one of them was going to score in this game.
That's why I said tie.
But I will have to predict that the Jaguars will win this game. Final score 3-0. Jacksonville.
Final score 16-16. Watch the game. Just pulled a Tony Romo on you guys there. Predicted it. All right. Next game, we got the Dolphins and the Lioness. All right. Now, Tua is back. Excited for that. And the Lions are the Lions. We all know how that goes at this point in time. So for that reason, I'm going with the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins are going to win this one, even if Tua is suffering from CTE right now.
Yeah, I think the Dolphins are going to take this one also. The Dolphins will put up a lot of numbers on the Lions. I got a feeling the Lions are going to score some too.
Yes. I don't think the Lions are bad, but they're like us. They can't hold a lead. And if they even get one in the first place, because they're the Lions. So
I say the Dolphins by 2 touchdowns.
I'll agree with that. I don't know. I don't go. I don't predict the scores very often. Just saying. All right. Next, we got the Panthers and the Falcons. Why is this week so god awful with these games? Like, I really don't care. This is like Thursday night football games. Like, this is all the NFL's Thursday night football games right here. Meaning they're all bad games, by the way, for those who didn't catch the joke. This is kind of a hard one for me. But the Panthers feeling good with that victory last week. The talentless Panthers now without Christian McCaffrey taking down the talentless Tom Brady. Isn't that crazy? So, because they're feeling good and because the Falcons still choke even though Matt Ryan isn't even there anymore, I'm going to go with the Panthers on this one, even though they literally have no talent, like I said. But maybe they're feeling good after last week's win. Give them a little motivation, because I don't think it takes that much motivation to take down the Falcones.
I will also take the Panthers in this game because I think they have a little bit better defense than the Atlanta Falcons. The Another low-scoring game also.
Yes. Is that it?
So yes, and I believe that the Panthers will take this by about a field goal.
Okay. All right, so we got the Cardinals and the Vikings next. All these are so mediocre to me. It might be a good week of football because they're gonna be close scores, but I feel like it's still gonna be a boring week just because of the matchups here. But for this one, I'm gonna actually go with the Vikings. Simply put, Justin Jefferson. Can they cover Justin Jefferson? The Cardinals? No, they cannot. So, I'm going with the Vikings on this one.
And again, we have overrated quarterbacks in this game also. Murray for the Cardinals, another overrated quarterback. As is Kirk Cousins, and we all know if the Cardinals lose to the Vikings, they have no chance for the Super Bowl. So I'm going to say the Vikings are going to take this game by a touchdown. But I don't think it's going to be as high scoring as people think.
Yes, the Cousins curse is what gets you, you know. And the Cousins has already taken down quite a few teams this year. So, all right. You gotta be stupid if you don't know who I'm taking in this game right now. Um, the Chicago Bears, everybody. Simply put, I'm not saying that the Cowboys are winning a game. Are you kidding me right now? Look at them. Look at them. Watch them. I mean, you could say the same about the Bears if you wanted to. But the Bears have more talent than the Cowboys. It comes down to really every time, it comes down to who has more talent on the team. For me. And I believe that the Bears have more talent than the Cowboys.
If you watched last week's game, Justin Fields had his first and probably only good game in the NFL.
They're feeling hot, Dad.
If you didn't catch the game, get a tape of the game and please save it because it's going to be worth money someday. Because nobody's going to believe that guy ever had a good game. But for me, I'm going to go with Dallas because they're at home.
Okay.
And I think that Dallas will win this game by 6 points.
Okay, okay, okay. Switching it up. Switching it up. I like variety. All right, now we got the Raiders and the Saints. We got the criminals and the assholes here. This is really interesting. Okay. All right, all right, all right. Now, I'm gonna say the Raiders. Um, I mean, again, why is these matchups to me? They just both suck. Is everybody just sucky this year? Maybe that's the problem. Maybe everybody just is a little sucky this year. Um, but I'm still gonna go with the Raiders for the same reason that I've been going with the Raiders if I choose them, because of Devontae. Even though, dear God, he needs to get out of Oakland. Or, wait, Las Vegas. Caught myself, everybody. I can't keep up with the moving, I guess. I don't know. Go ahead.
And your winner
I said the Raiders.
on the radio. Okay. I am going to. I am going to go with the Saints in this game. They have the Carrot starting again. And
That's why I predicted the Raiders to win, Dad. Andy Dalton, by the way. Carrot, everybody.
and the Carr though is another overrated quarterback.
Yeah.
That overrated team. I I I don't like either one of these teams.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm just taking the Saints in a coin flip game. To be honest with you, neither one of these teams should be in the NFL. But I'll go with the Saints.
We need to delete these teams from the NFL. Roger, get on that. All right. Steelers and the Eagles. Now, this is what I like to see. This is what I like to see right here. Everybody knows who I'm going to pick. The underdogs, don't say they're underdogs anymore like you do every week. Their nickname is the underdogs because of one of the best playoff runs of all time. Nick Foles. Nick Foles. Nick Foles.
No longer on the team.
No longer on the team. But his spirit is there. It lives on. And that's why the Eagles, after all the odds, remain undefeated. And they will beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. They will. They will. They will.
This is the Battle of Pennsylvania. Battle of Pennsylvania here. Rarity that these teams play once every 4 years. I will say that the Eagles will remain undefeated as they bring the Steelers in town in a high scoring game. I believe both teams will score high, but the Eagles will end up winning this game by 10 points.
Another prediction I have for this game is that the fans are going to be crazy. Thank you. All right. Ooh, 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 ooh. All right, we got the Patriots and the Jets. You know, I'm gonna say the Jets. Against the Patriots. The Patriots have nothing left, and the fact that they are playing Mac Jones for sure just gives me the reassurance that I need that they're going to lose. Also, play Flacco. Wilson, maybe just fake an injury a little bit. Flacco's always money against the Patriots. And Tom Brady. Just like, they're irreversible. So, you know. Oh, I just banged the table. I'm sorry. But I would say the Jet Skis. Like I said, I'm a secondary Jets fan. So, just because of Flacco. But also, I'm being fair right now. The Jets are going to win this game.
Low scoring game. Jets aren't going to score much. Patriots aren't going to score much. 10-7 Jets. Unless Wilson gets hurt, Flacco will come in and throw a couple touchdowns. But if he doesn't, it's going to be a 10-7 game. Very low scoring again.
All right. We got the Titans and the Texans. Okay, okay. Why does this week suck? This week sucks. Suck. So, I'm gonna say, and this is a tough one, I'm gonna say the Titans. I usually go with the Titans if they're in a against a team that's kind of matches their mediocre level, of the fact that they have Henry, and Henry is due for one of his big days. In my opinion, I'm just a Henry fan, but do the Texans have the defense that it takes to stop Derrick Henry and the run? Not in my opinion. So I'm gonna take the Titans in this one.
Yes, I will also go with the Tennessee Titans in this game. Uh, Texans, they don't have a quarterback, which half the teams in the league don't. Not that the Titans have a very good one, but Derrick Henry is the difference in this game. Titans will win by 7 points.
I'm glad that we have come to an agreement again, Mr. Fisk. Um, the Giants and the Seahawks. Um, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say the Giants. This, like you said, in the first week of football, or maybe even before the season started. I can't really remember back that far, but you said that the Seahawks might win only one game. Well,
I meant per week, of course.
right. Now just saying that I did predict the first week for the Seahawks to win, and I don't think I predicted them to win any other week after that, just because the first week they were playing Russ. Um, so I'm gonna say the Giants because the Seahawks. Listen, this actually might be a curse because every time I said the Seahawks the first week and they won, and then I feel like every other week after that, I've lost like every time. I've said I've went against them, haven't I? Like the weeks that we actually did the podcast and did the predictions. So it might be a curse, but I'm still gonna go with the Giants because I still think that the Seahawks. I mean, Geno Smith, really? He had it. You know what? He was hyping himself up the first week. He was saying, "You guys are haters," and blah 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 blah. Oh, you guys didn't see this one coming. It's like you literally beat the Denver Broncos with Russ. Let's ride Wilson. Chill out. All right. I really don't even have an explanation for why I'm going with the Giants, other than the reason that the Seahawks suck and I don't like them.
Well, the Seahawks have very good receivers, and they carried Wilson for years, as we saw when he went to Denver and
Mm-hmm.
didn't have quite as good as receivers. So he couldn't just throw his lollipops up for grabs and have the receiver outstretched for the ball. So I'm going to go with the Seahawks to win this game. Even I just think the Giants are overrated. Geno Smith is playing very good ball, even though I'm not sold on him totally. But I still think the Giants are an overrated team, and the Seahawks will win at home by 3 points.
Okay. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that prediction. It's just, me and the Seahawks, we don't have a good relationship. I think I need to stop going on my personal beliefs and start predicting it by game. But whatever. I'm a passionate person, okay? So passionate. Stick to my beliefs. Speaking of my beliefs, I have a soft spot for both of these teams, but my poor boy Hines. Oh, my poor boy. he was a victim of a concussion, a victim, and I can't believe the week that he had where he can show his talent. He just he immediately got up and he stumbled. He couldn't move. Oh my god, it was painful for me because now he can't even prove himself because he's not 100%. Um, but um, yeah, I'm still gonna go with the Commanders though. They I'm still gonna go with the Commanders. I don't even know what explanation that I have except I feel like the Commanders have been playing a little bit better than they have in the first few weeks, and I feel like the Colts are going the other way. They're declining, and the Commanders are like, it's gonna intersect here.
Okay, I'm gonna go with the Colts because our new fantasy quarterback
Oh shoot, I forgot
is
about that.
now on the Colts.
Well, okay, but we don't know how he's gonna play. But anything's better than Ryan though. So I should have
And
thought about that, but I didn't.
and Tyler Heineke's playing for the Commanders, so it's not going to be a very high scoring game, I don't believe, but I think that with our new quarterback, we're going to show a few surprises, and the Colts are going to take the game by a touchdown.
And seeing as how me watching Heineke, I'm not completely disappointed with him. If I'm gonna be honest, I'm not completely disappointed. He's not that bad. So I think this is an even matchup. So I'm not mad at any of our picks, but I just because you went on about our new fantasy quarterback, I wanted to defend Heineke. Um, all right, 49ers and Rams. This would have been a good matchup about a year ago. Not anymore. Um, but I'm going to go with the 49ers because they have a new freaking all-star team besides their quarterback, obviously. But they got Christian McCaffrey is what I mean. And they got my boy Debo. And the Rams, it's interesting because they obviously the Rams have Cup. Um, and I don't really I still don't I'm still going to go with the 49ers though because the Rams haven't been playing as well as I thought they were going to in the beginning of the season. Not saying that the 49ers have, but because they have just one more player that is considered the best running back in the NFL to others, not me, but to others, um, that's going to help them out a lot here. And I think that's why the 49ers will win the game with their new talent. But Cup is also the GOAT, so it's hard for me. It's hard for me. Can the 49ers stop Cup? But can the Rams stop Debo and McCaffrey? I don't see that happening. Do you? Mr. Fisk, do you?
Well, since Debo's hurt, I don't know if he's going to play or not. And if he does, I'm not sure how
He's always
effective
hurt.
he's going to be with his hamstring. But 49ers always beat the Rams. So despite having Jimmy Garoppolo for a quarterback, I believe they can't throw the ball over 5 yards. When he throws an 80-yard touchdown, you can bet it's a 5 yard pass. And 75 yards ran the rest of the way. But I still got to go with the Niners because they always beat the Rams. They always have their number. And the Rams are not playing good ball, although the Rams are coming off a bye week this week. So I wish they had another receiver besides Cup. So they had a threat, so they don't double team Cup all the time. But 49ers will win this game by a field goal.
Okay, I just assumed Devo was gonna play because he usually is questionable every week and then just plays at least a little bit. Just saying, but who knows? I may be wrong. But it's too late now. I said 49ers. Okay, Packers and the Bills. The Bills are gonna win this one simply because, like I said, the Packers' whole offense depended on Devontae at this point. Rodgers can't do anything, and their defense can't do anything either, except for last week after we dropped them from our fantasy team. But I don't think they'll go for 2 weeks in a row. Um, Against the Buffalo Bills. I hate to say it. I hate to say it because I really don't want the Bills to win. I would rather the Packers win. But the Bills are the Bills at this point. Josh Allen, Gabe Davis, Diggs. I mean, against that Packers defense, and I there's no other way around it. They're
Okay.
they're gonna win.
Okay, the final score in this game will be determined by the Buffalo Bills. Do they want to win by 30? Do they want to win by 40? Do they want to keep their starters in after halftime? The Bills will determine the final score. They can beat them by as many points as they want.
Good idea. Good opinion. Good idea. Okay. All right. The last game of Week 8 of the 2022 NFL season, Your Honor, is an AFC North matchup. Bengals and the Brownskis. Now, Joe Burrow must have drank some blood last week because he was he was looking like himself a little bit. Himself last year. Um, can he keep that up against the Brownskis? I think so. I think he can. But honestly, I think the Bengals are favored by a lot in this game, right? I don't know the exact amount, but I think they're favored by a lot. And I if I was betting, I would take the Browns. I don't think they're gonna lose by that much. And it could be just because they were playing the Ravens last week and I saw what the Browns looked like against the Ravens zone defense. But the Browns aren't that bad, guys. That's all I have to say. They really aren't that bad. And um, if the Bengals fall like they did in the first few weeks, where Joe Burrow didn't drink enough blood and he was just lopping some passes out there and whatever, it's a good chance it could happen if they're not on. Um, but if I was betting, I would take the Browns. But overall, I think the Bengals are gonna win this game. As long as Burrow drinks some blood before the game, he'll be okay. The Bengals will be okay.
I have to take a little bit of a credit for the Bengals winning last week and Joe Burrow looking so good.
Oh, what happened, Mr. Fisk?
Well, I was offered too much money that I could turn down to fly some bodies in for Joe Burrow for his pregame snack. So therefore, the reason why he looked so good is because he had a lot of blood in his system while he played ball. This week, I will not be doing the same. So don't expect Joe Burrow to look like he did last week. I think the Browns may upset this team, even though they're playing good ball, in a 1 or 2 point victory for the Cleveland Browns this week.
I'm not upset at that, Mr. Fisk. Even except the part where you said you killed people. That's not very Catholic of you.
I didn't actually kill them. I sent them to Cincinnati.
Were they on to Cincinnati?
On to Cincinnati.
So you hired your goons to kill them.
No, actually did not kill them. Joe Burrow does not like dead blood. He prefers living human blood. So therefore, when they were out of my hands, they were extremely healthy.
I see. So you sent them to be killed, Mr. Fisk.
I sent them to Joe Burrow. Whatever Joe Burrow did with them, I'm not responsible for Joe Burrow. What he did with them is his responsibility, not mine.
Well, I was just expecting that you would have killed them because you smashed that dude's head in with a car door. So,
Whatever people deserve, I have the right to protect myself. That's all I got to say on that.
right, right. Do you believe that people deserve second chances, Mr. Fisk?
I have a big heart. That's what you're referring to.
A heart for Vanessa.
Yes, that too.
Now, how would you feel if Vanessa spent the rest of her life in jail? For aiding you.
Oh, she has done nothing wrong. Vanessa has done nothing wrong. There's no likelihood, 0% chance, that my Vanessa will spend one day in jail.
Well, you will spend the rest of your miserable life in jail. When I defeat you, I beat you.
You know, I got one thing to say to you, Murdoch. It's just a lucky thing we're doing this broadcast right now.
Oh, yeah?
Because you would end up like my father, who disrespected me also. And I took the hammer, and I hammered him until he was dead.
Well, I have news for you, Mr. Fisk. In the Murdoch family, we get back up, okay? After being punched down. Like my father, Battling Jack Murdoch. Just saying. So, if you take me down, I'm getting back up. And technically, I could have killed you. Because I did beat you. But I sent you to jail instead. But don't make me regret that decision, Mr. Fisk, because I can kill you as long as I ask for forgiveness.
And how many times, Murdoch, did I have you down and out, where I could have ended your life also?
You tried to end my life, Fisk, but you couldn't. Not even your goons could kill me, okay? Bullseye? Remember him? Yeah.
You better end this podcast here, while you still can.
Alright, well, we'll handle this later, at a later date. I'm glad that you could get out of your jail cell to be here, sir. Okay? But I hope that everybody enjoyed this episode of Murdoch and Fisk. Um, and this special edition of Murdoch and Fisk. And we'll be back next week to tell you how our fantasy team did. If we won against the team that got Justin Jefferson. I hate that. Anyway, if we won, we'll be back with some NFL predictions. And whatever else happens throughout the week, we'll be here. Number one news source. Also, if anybody is interested, if you're being sued, if you are a victim, I'm here to defend you. Nelson and Murdoch. That's my firm. So, just saying, if anybody's interested out there, just. Do you have anything else to say before we finish this broadcast?
No, just that we actually will not be here again. Do and Da will be back next week.
Right. I actually have business to attend to. So, I'm actually starting a new adventure coming 2024 on a streaming service near you. Anyway, so same bat time.
Same bad channel.
Goodbye, everybody.